Classic Show. Today you find me in the front seat of a 1996 Range Rover 4.6 HSE, commonly known as the P38 model. Now, is it any good? Is it a future classic? Is it anything at all? Well, today we're going to try and answer that. The P38 came after the end of the Range Rover Classic, which had one of the longest production runs from the 1970 right up until, I believe, the 1996. The P38 and the Classic were both sold at the same time for a short period and share some features, but more or less this is a brand new car from the ground up. So this is the 4.6 model, which is basically the top of the range that you could have got, the HSE. It has everything at the time: air suspension, cruise control, multifunction steering wheel, high and low range box through this slider here, so it's not mechanical, it's electronic, electric windows, sunroof, and realistically this was a step above the Classic in every way. Like, coming from a Classic into this is like chalk and cheese. It's day and night. They're not the same vehicle at all. This was a car built for the modern world, where the Classic was a car basically built and designed in the late 1960s, early 1970s. This vehicle itself, after what is it now, 25 years, what's it like? Well, it is a completely usable car, and you can use it for everyday motoring. Now, being the 4.6, you wouldn't really use it for everyday motoring because the petrol cost would be absolutely astonishing. Like, currently now, I left this idling for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and I've moved now, and I'm moving at 35 mile an hour, and I'm currently, since I've left it idling, I'm driving now, have averaged 5.6 miles per the gallon. Now, that said, it is going up, but do you understand what I mean? It won't be economical at any stage of the game at all. Now, so this is the 4.6, so it's got 220 horsepower. There was 3 other units you could get in total for this model. So there was the 2.5 turbo diesel unit from BMW, which is a fine unit, but completely underpowered for this car. It works well in the 5 Series, but in this car it's just too heavy. It doesn't work that well. But that said, it is reliable. It can run on vegetable oil, surprisingly, but power-wise it's too little. 4 litre is a good step up and a very good unit too, but realistically the MPG, we know difference between the 4 litre and the 4.6, they'll both be horrendous, so you might as well just skip it and go for the 4.6. Like, you can LPG it, but realistically I'd leave it standard, because coming on to the next point is, I feel these vehicles themselves are becoming future classics. I believe P38 is at the bottom of its price point now and is beginning to rise. So if you have a good one, a clean one, I keep it and treat it well, because these are going to go the same way as the Range Rover Classic would, and they are going to raise in value. Now, another thing which I don't like about this model of Range Rover, and it was a big jump up in the L322, the model which came after this, is it's very plasticky. Everything rattles. You can hear it rattling. I don't like that. It is comfortable, it is a good car. On motorway you probably wouldn't hear any rattle, but now going over a little country lane, which what this car is designed for, everything is squeaking all around me, and I'm not quite fond of that. It wouldn't even squeak as much in the Classic, so that's something they should have really worked on, because the plastic materials everywhere, look, it's not the high quality you'd want to leave a finish of what a Range Rover should be, especially in this area that we're really moving up market. So I feel that isn't a good point. This vehicle started production in 1994 and ran the whole way to 2002. And in midway through that production, there was supposed to be a complete overhaul of this vehicle. It was supposed to get the 3-litre BMW unit, which later went into the L322, was supposed to be placed into this vehicle. But they found so many little things that they wanted to bring up to standard at the time that they felt it was better to start off from scratch and build a new model. And that's where the L322 came into production. At a much, like, this vehicle wasn't in production a long time before the L322 began to be developed and built. So the production run of this is basically 94 to 2000 and late 2001, 2002 the L322 was there, which is only a 7-year production run. Considering what the Classic had and considering what the L322 had, this had a very short production run, and the L405 that's out now. Another point of view with this car, being old, from before, it wobbles a lot. An awful lot, but it still has an air of class about it that maybe other vehicles can't really get or really have. A Range Rover of any age, really, if it's well maintained and looks presentable, can be used every day but also be brought to certain events and not stand out like a sore thumb. It would fit in and look respectable at a point-to-point, a horse racing event, going in the town for a dinner or a wedding. This vehicle would still look respectable even next to new ones. It would still look every bit as good and timeless. That's the thing about a good maintained Land Rover or Range Rover. They are a timeless vehicle, unlike a Q7 or an X5, which just dates and becomes old. A Range Rover doesn't really date. It's a timeless vehicle. You even can see, for example, Her late Majesty the Queen had an L322, and obviously she had newer models too, but she drove that and it looked every bit as respectful as a brand new one. It was timeless. It didn't make a difference what year it was, because it was still a Range Rover and still very respectable. So it didn't matter. It doesn't matter what year you drive as long as it's well maintained. And this P38, as I said, I feel it really will come into its own now and become a classic vehicle in its own right next to the Classic, and in due course the L322 will as well. Now, that being said, the L322 is a far better car than what the P38 ever is, but the P38 still has all the ingredients which make it every bit a Range Rover as the L322. The only flaws I find is that this era, when this was made in 1994, there was a switch over to electronics and computers, and these are very basic electronics and computers, and when they go wrong, they go wrong. And one other thing, I really wish they never installed a beep, because all these cars seem to do is, if you don't set the window right and you don't leave the door, it's beep 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 beep, which is extremely annoying. So, welcome back now to what is the walk around part of this review of the Range Rover Classic P38. As you can see, we're in a nice tranquil part of Ireland, a mountainous scene, so to speak, which I believe this car really does suit. It's more dignified than the other vehicles that are around, and I do feel it really is something special. So please follow me for a quick walk around and I'll show you what I think of the car. Thank you. So now, as we do the quick walk around what is a beautiful part of the country, we can see this 1996 P38 4.6. As you can see, it has these alloys actually surprisingly are worth a lot of money, because they actually fit on different type of cars and people want to buy them. But this car being completely original, they're staying right where they are. If you open the door here, come in, you can see it has electric seats, the hardened carbon sound system, and a modern enough interior for its time. 6-disc CD changer in the boot. That is for the whole motorway height. Hazards, your suspension with off-road mode, standard, motorway height, and the getting in and out. And this button locks it in position, say if you have a trailer or whatnot. Front and rear fog lights here, and your light control here. Down here we have your sports and your manual mode. So manual's automatic, and sport is where it's more fiery on the gauges, it holds them longer. Your high range side is here. If you want to shift it over in the middle, you shoot like this, and you engage your low range with the different things will tell you what to do. If you go downhill, the first, going uphill, fourth, low range, it explains it all. You got your 4 dual windows control here, along with your sunroof control in the middle there, with your electric mirrors control here. In here we've got a cubby hole where you can keep a few bits and pieces, and drinks holder there when it flips down the back. And P36, we've an ashtray there. See what I said about the plastic? It really just isn't up to quality for what the premium price you're paying for the car. I really think it could have been better. In here, handy spot too, your phone fits there, but like on all Range Rover P38s, it's come loose. Or I don't know, was it ever loose, but every one we've ever had, it's always been loose. In here we got a place for holding your storage or your service history and whatnot. A good premium clock as well. Move around the back of the vehicle. We have a battery charger or a jump starter, because theoretically, being parked up for a long time, the batteries in these old P38s, they're really heavy on power, so you need to take one of them with you when the car's not being used a lot, just to make sure you can start. But this vehicle will be getting a new battery, so that should solve the problem with an isolator switch. As we come around the back, we can see button here, sit on like here on the L322, open up, and to lower this down, I think it's here again, hold on. There we go. As you see, the 6-disc CD changer is in there, some Land Rover mats, and a fancy wee tailgate. But this is basically what it's designed for. We're sitting in the great outdoors, enjoying a lovely picnic. That really is a timeless piece of Range Rover technology there. No other 4x4 has seemed to have got it. It just is like it's perfect. You couldn't really improve on the back's seating arrangement. I know the new ones, you can have a wee bench that goes up here like this, but really, is it needed? No, I don't think so. It's only a gimmick to go wrong. As I come round here, you can hear the memory seats, electric of course, and we're in here now. If you want to open your petrol tank, it's just right there. Let's see now if the vehicle fires into life. The 4.6 V8. And it is up. I'm now going to gauge the off-road height. I'll have to shut these doors and we'll see what will happen next. I'm not sure if it works with the tailgate open, but let's see. Nope. We'll need to shut the tailgate. Maybe now clicked it again. It should engage, and up it goes into off-road height, which for when this vehicle was made in 1994 was still well ahead of its time, and a very, very good feature. This vehicle itself only has 86,000 miles, so this will be a classic vehicle and will be kept for as such. Now of course it's going to get resprayed in due course or buffed up and see what happens, but really I do feel these are becoming timeless and into a world of their own. And what other vehicle looks as good out here as a Range Rover? I don't know. But please, if you like this review of the 4.6 P38 Range Rover, please stay tuned, as there'll be more reviews coming along shortly. And please give a comment on any questions you might have in the comment section below, and I will answer them. Like and share this video, and we'll see if we can bring you more along shortly. Thank you very much, and thank you for taking the time to watch this review.